Hey everybody, we are teaching SculptrVR, and tonight on SculptrVR we're going to look at the cone tool. So on our list of tools, this is going to be item number 4, row 4, the first item. And as you can see, it is a nice cone. And as usual, we can make it bigger or smaller. We can both create with it, and we can also carve with it. So it works just like most of our other tools. It's going to be dependent on what layer you've chosen. It's going to be dependent on what color and materials you've chosen, whether it's solid or metal or glow-in-the-dark or transparent, or whether you want it to be on layer 1, layer 2, layer whatever. This is our creation tool and our carving tool. Now with a cone, what's interesting, not only can we use it for basic creation stuff, bear in mind the speed of your computer combined with the speed of your motion equals the smoothness of what you create. So we've got a pretty good machine here, but if I move my tool very quickly while I create, you can see it's very fragmented, very spotty. You can take advantage of this. Maybe I want to create a forest. So I'm going to have a nice regular rolling landscape. Nice rolling landscape. And we're going to go down into this landscape and create some trees. A nice pine forest. And if I move my hand really quickly, you can see we create a whole lot of trees very quickly, a lot of individual dots, taking advantage of the fragmentary aspect of a very fast movement. You would need a very fast machine indeed to get a smooth line out of moving that quickly. If you really want the smooth line, slow down. So I'm going to increase my size here a little bit and just move very slowly across the screen. You can still see it's sort of made up of individual cones. So if we look closely, you can see all the little points there. If we switch to a smooth texture, it would smooth out those points. But as long as I move slowly. So we've got, let's get into a wildly different color so you can see it clearly here. Quick movement, medium movement, a lot more little jaggies, and then the slower I go, the smoother these shapes are going to be. But you need patience and a steady hand. Or at least activating the snap, that type of thing. But this is the cone tool as creation, varying in size. Now it is dependent on how you hold your hand. So this way is different from that way, is different from that way, is different from that way. So it does allow you to twist and bend and shape as you go as well. So if I wanted to take a landscape and add a specific mountain ridge, cone tool gives you a lot of that type of precision. Cone tool. Now for carving, cone tool gives you the big advantage of a point. Now if I'm carving with a sphere or a cube, let's get these guys out of my face. If I'm carving with a sphere or a cube, you sometimes can go too deep or too shallow. It's hard to get real precision. With our cone tool, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here. Stop that. So I'm going to take my thing. Now if I just want to write Shameless Mayhem on the background here, with a carve tool, that point up here really lets us write easily and smoothly, shameless, and I can keep adjusting. Let's get rid of you. Shameless. less. Get rid of you guys. Now with the point, I'm going to see if I can adjust it so you can really see what I'm doing here at an angle. You can very carefully, as long as you take your time, judge the distance you're carving in and keep it a fairly even and smooth line. Slow down a little bit here. So you can see how this carving tool gives you a lot more precision, a lot finer line that I can use. It's a lot more forgiving than using tools like the sphere or the rounded cube. It's a lot easier to get the fine line. Likewise, the rounded shape. If I just wanted to trim things down, smooth things out, that rounded shape, I can use the flat edge and see if I can make it bigger here. Just trying to change your size. Thank you. Now when I carve, you can see the flat edge allows me to really shave things off, smooth things out. And the rounded curves really help me smooth out points, round things out. It is much more of a forgiving tool to work with than your spheres and rounded cubes. So let's try to get an edge in here. And I can go in using the edges to really smooth things out much more easily. That broad edge, the flat edge, really gives you a lot more control with what we're trying to work with. Gives you a lot of ability to shape. Use that point to carve in spirals. Use the flat and curves to round out edges, smooth things down, so things aren't quite as jagged, that type of thing. So the cone tool is actually a remarkably versatile tool. Creation, you can have a lot of fun with the different shapes, but carving, it is my favorite carving tool. Much more than the cube or sphere tools, cone gives you the precision of that point, plus the ability to smooth with the sides. So the cone tool, very useful tool here in our arsenal of SculptrVR. The cone tool becomes a very useful and flexible tool for working with your shapes, smoothing things out, carving in with precise detail using that point of the cone. I hope this type of thing is helpful for you guys, gives you some inspiration and ideas for what to create. I'm going to use the cone tool to write our usual message here today. We're going to do it in bright yellow so we can have this shape. I'm actually going to go into our landscape and carve it just because I like it so much. Now come here, get closer to me. And we're going to use the point to carve in our subscribe message. Where do you guys go? Make sure I don't lose my camera angle here. Subscribe. Where'd you guys go? There you are. Let's get this message so you guys can see it. Finishing off today's episode, the cone tool gives you the precision you need, not only in creation, but in carving, so we can be actually following the curve of the landscape as we write our messages. Subscribe. We do this each week live on Twitch TV/Shameless Mayhem, as well as they are archived on YouTube.com/Shameless Mayhem. Make sure you guys can read that. It's not behind other objects. Thank you, other objects. There, you guys get the picture. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This is Teaching SculptrVR. Enjoy, link your creations down below, see what other episodes we got for using this VR sculpting tool. Have fun, everybody.